Okay, so I thought it'd be fun to do a video of adjusting the valves rather than you know, intake open, adjust the exhaust open, adjust the intake. I thought it'd be interesting to do it running, and you haven't seen a lot of videos on YouTube doing that. I guess there probably are, but anyway, I've got a '64 Chevy here, belongs to a friend of mine, and we were trying to adjust the valves with it running last time he was here, and it was just making a big mess. So here's what I've done. Hopefully you can still hear me with the engine running, and more importantly, hopefully you can hear what it sounds like when your valves go out of adjustment. So if I take this, you see what I did there, just to kind of keep the oil from splashing everywhere. Anyway, if I go here and I loosen this one up enough, you'll hear it clatter. Hopefully you can hear that. I don't know, maybe you can't, but it's a, you know, click, 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 click. Tighten it down a little bit, and it goes away. A little bit more for preload on the hydraulic lifter, and we just do the next one the same way. Loosen it up. Clack, 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 clack. Tighten it down. Quiet. A little bit more. Loosen this one up. Clack, 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 clack. Quiet. A little bit more. Loosen this one up. Clack, clack, clack. Clack, clack, clack. Alright, I wasn't too sure about number 4, so I went back and I did that one a second time just to make sure. What I found was the valves were out of adjustment, so hopefully it'll run a little bit better now. It seems like they had been cranked down too far, which is usually people twisting the push rod and rather than just taking the push rod up and down when they're adjusting the valves with the engine off. Sometimes when you're plunging down the hydraulic plunger, you can keep twisting that push rod, keep twisting it and twisting it. It's hard to get a good feel for it, and you think you're doing the right thing until you crank it down hard enough to where you can't twist it anymore. But at that point, you might have the plunger on the hydraulic lifter all the way down. So when I'm doing it with the engine off, I always, kind of grab the push rod between two fingers while I'm loosening the rocker arm nut, and I'll just lift it up and down. Rather than twist it, I'll just lift the push rod up and down. And when the rocker arm is loose, you can get up and down movement on the push rod, and when it's tight, you cannot. And then I'll just take another half turn for the preload on that hydraulic lifter, if that makes any sense. So that's that. Cool little car, straight six, 64 Chevy II. One thing I should mention is when my buddy brought this over to me, I noticed that it wasn't running right, and he noticed it wasn't running right, and we set the timing, and the timing was way far advanced, like I don't know, 27, 28 degrees initial advance on the timing. So we set the timing where it needed to be, and then it wouldn't stay idling. It needed, the idle adjustment had to be jacked up. So I'm looking around on this carburetor, and I couldn't find the idle adjustment. And I'm not familiar with Rochester single jets, but I couldn't find the idle adjustment on anywhere. So I kind of fabricated something. You probably can't see it, but right down here, I put the idle adjustment there. So you can back this bolt out and that jacks up the idle, or you can screw that bolt down in and that lowers the idle. But we were able to get it to stay running that way. And that's it. Once the timing was set correctly, and the idle was set, it ran pretty good after that. Adjusted the air fuel idle screws and got the most vacuum out of it at idle with that adjustment, and it's running pretty good now.